I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soared into the light. I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar
parking brakes to
into
request
the
ground
light.
services.
Hello, fine people. Yeah,
I had to restart Flight Simulator, so it's gonna take a little longer than usual to start up the flights. Apparently there was an update for the PMDG 777, and so it's gonna take a little longer. I'm just loading the stream right now, so I can start talking with you guys. So first of all, welcome all, and I hope you appreciate this flight out of Athens to Doha, Qatar. This will be, oh, there we go. Nice. This will be a fairly long flight, although I'll use time compression for your viewing pleasure, of course. I'm just setting up everything, so I had to restart pretty much all services. Sorry for being a bit later today. Oh, so this is the Athens airport. It's just starting beyond ATC. So we're looking beneath the chairs for some reason. And so let me go first inside, and I'll come outside again. All right. So for some reason, whenever I join in the aircraft, it will have these automatic stairs loaded. Not sure why. So here we are at Athens Airport. Let me just reposition the aircraft because it doesn't look good. Oh, apparently it is good. So let's start by loading the aircraft right away so we don't waste any more time. Can it remove? So PMDG 777 has always been slightly problematic with GSX. So it's not removing the loaders. That's not no big deal. So first of all, let's load our flight plan as usual from electronic flight bag. Not bag. So here we are. This is our flight out of Greece all the way to Doha, Qatar. Let's see how the flight goes. There it is in Qatar. So this will be a very interesting flight to make because we'll be flying. I don't think we will only be able to see Egypt, but we're certainly going to see Israel go through the desert of Saudi Arabia and land on Qatar. So it's going to be an interesting flight. Yes, request ground power. No. Aren't we on ground pounder? No, we're not on ground power. We're on AP here. So this is the Boeing 777-200LR, a fairly common airplane in the flight sim world from PMDG. So let me see if I can remove the... Oh well. We'll get back to these pages in a moment. So let's go back to our menu, FMC. It's just saying we got ourselves an active ARAC. Inertial position, so we are at LGAV at gate 23, Alpha 23, more better. Well, Alpha 23. What am I saying? Alpha 03. Here we go. Now it's going to be correct. All right. Now let's turn on our ADIRS, or ADIRU as they call it in this airplane. Let's wait for it to request the initial inertial position. Takes a moment. Until then, the plane just doesn't know where it is. We just need to tell it where it is in the world. Let's go back to index. There it is. So we are going to set ourselves into either the gate position or the last known position, which is this one right here. So we're going to insert the last known GPS position. Usually more accurate by a few degrees. Nothing much, but it's preferable. So let's request our route for today. We got a Simbrief from LGAV, which is Athens Airport. So there it is. So we got ourselves block fuel 68.0 and our zero fuel weight 370.3. This is of course in pounds. So we're going to set our fuel set, thank you, and I'm going to set our payload as well. Of course we're still loading passengers, but I don't think... Hello Andrew, welcome, nice to see you here. So select a route, and route selected, let's activate, execute, and bammo. Let's confirm our route here. In the route page, sorry, in the legs page, nope, still not loaded. So route import. Oh, it's still loading. So wind data, performance data, route 1. Alright, let's see if we can load it now. Oh, there it is. Load. Now it's loading. Route 1 uplink loading. There it is. Route has been loaded. Let's confirm in our legs page. Now it's loaded. Kind of on a rush. Execute. And we'll go back to this page for the departure and arrival. What happened? Oh, I'm sorry, Andrew. I need to tame and I need to tame the Nightbot. So you said hi, good evening, 93 subs. Yeah, I had to resort to buying some publicity because I wasn't getting anywhere. So I'm sorry about Nightbot. He's just doing his job. Sorry about that. I'm not sure why it blocked you. Maybe it's because of the emojis, but I reduced Nightbot intensity. My apologies, Andrew. No, not intentional. All right, so we got ourselves. Let's load our checklists before we forget about it. So let's test the oxygen masks first. Pilot, sorry, Betsy. Can you scooch? She can't scooch, so I'm gonna turn on my track IR. Now I can go around. Sorry, not trying to hug you. There you go. And let's test it over there. Test it over here. Test it everywhere. Alright, oxygen supply has been tested. So flight instruments, heading, altimeter, heading, we are going to set ourselves heading 300. We'll go through runway heading in a moment, and altitude we'll set by 10,000 feet for now. Alright, let's look at our flight plan here. We have a whopping cost index of 156. We got ourselves our 410 cruise altitude. ATC will only give us 230, then we'll have to request 410 at Rapos. Nice. Zero fuel weight will be 209 for this flight. Estimated will be 167.9. And we got ourselves fuel consumption. We got a block fuel of 30.8, so we got a lot more fuel than needed for this flight. Oh, actually it's been reset. Cool. Nice. All right. Parking brake is set. Pre-flight checklist complete. We'll go through the other before start checklist in a moment as soon as everything's loaded in. So let's go for our performance index. As we saw earlier, our cost index should be 156. I'm sorry, not the cost index. I meant the zero fuel weight, 167.9. Let's confirm it. What? Takeoff weight 198. That's way too much. Not sure it's loading the fuel correctly. Yeah, it's not loading stuff correctly from our flight plan. It's definitely overweight. So let's go here to our payload. What do we got? Yeah, it's not looking good. So we need to set up our zero fuel weight at 167.9. 167.9. It's not allowing me. I wonder why. So fuel should be 30.8. Now now it's done. So let's confirm the weight now. Payload. Got 0 passengers. What the heck's going on? How many packs do we have? It's supposed to have loaded this when we requested the weights and all that. Alright. We can do it by hand. No big deal. Still loading passengers. Only one jetway loading all these passengers, so it's gonna take a while. So again, payload. Let's set. I keep forgetting where the passenger number is here. 222, 222, 222, 222. Yeah, it's definitely needed to be a lot less. Do we load the correct? Did it load the correct plane? Yeah, an 777-200LR. So why the heck am I fully loaded apparently? Flight level is wrong. It's 410. And well, so fuel is correct. Payload. It's definitely not correct. How the heck is the gross weight so high? Oh, because this is in pounds and this is in kilograms. Well, that figures. And I think we can't change that on the PMDG, can we? Can we? We can. But will it reflect on the payload? No. Well, it isn't still in pounds. We are selecting it correctly, aren't we? HPA. Yeah, it looks correct. Save preferences. $167.9 kilograms, that's correct. But what about the fuel? What have I done in the past? I don't remember having issues in the past about around this. This is pounds. Pounds are less than kilograms, isn't it? Alright. This is always going to be an issue. So I might as well just convert this. I will convert this. So this is going to be fuel on board 30.2 kilograms. $66.6. All right. Let's go back to the fuel. 66.6. Wow, what am I doing? All right, so that's good. So we just need to add flaps 15. Our CG should be all right. Boarding completed. Let me just try to do this manually. So call in our Beyond ATC 80s.
25 Zulu, wind variable, visibility 10 miles or more, few clouds at 2000, temperature 17, dew point 14, QNH 1017, landing runway 03 left, departing runway 03 right, transition level 0900, 5G notice in effect, advise on initial contact you have information, Bravo. Illustrativos Venizelos Airport information, Bravo, 1925 Zulu, wind variable, visibility 10 miles or more, few clouds at 2000, temperature 17, dew point 14, QNH 1017, landing runway 03 left, departing runway 03 right, transition.
Alright. Let's call in our IFR clearance.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, ready to copy IFR clearance to Doha.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, Venizelos delivery, expect runway 03 right, KR1 Echo departure squawk 0450.
PR1 Echo departure squawk 0450, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, read back correct, contact ground 121.955 when ready for push to start.
Can't believe PMDG still requires manual IREC download.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, have a good evening, thanks.
So we need 03 right, not left. Oh Now the FMC is frozen. So cool. So cool. Nah, this is not good. Huh. So back at it. Let's make this faster now. Zero to the right via key A1 Echo. Well, I'm sure that thing exists. It's just not here. Key A1 Echo. Sad. There it is. Pin it. This is our departure. Inertial position. Let's do it faster now. Now I'm pretty sure I did this the last time, but we'll never know. Set payload. Set fuel. Select route. Route. Activate. Execute. Route uplink ready. Load. Alright, we already have the weather data. Let's request clearance. Already got clearance apparently. So we got a loaded plane, I think. Alright, let's request loading again, see what... Oh, it's already set up, so we're ready to go, I believe. Let's just go for our performance tool. Calculate. What? Oh, it's gonna calculate. All right, so we got V1 03 right via KAA 1 Echo, execute.
AGN 382 ready to taxi to the active.
Thrust limitations, we're gonna select 49, derated.
118.625. Over to tower 118.625.
Takeoff flaps
Have a good evening.
5
AGN 382.
with a CG of
Delta 4 Delta. Delta 3 Delta 1. Runway 03.
onshore.
Taxi via Echo. Charlie 2 Delta 4.
25.6, thank you. So confirming all V speeds. Looks fine and dandy. Let's start our APU here. We're already on APU, of course we are. Everything looks fine. Let's request push and start.
2 Alpha Quebec Heavy, Gate Alpha 3 request pushback.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Van Nuys ground. Hold position for traffic.
Hold position, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
We got traffic behind us.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Van Nuys ground. Pushback approved. Face southwest.
Pushback approved, face southwest, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Face west, she said. Southwest.
Hello, Captain. VAR ready for pushback.
Nice Greek accent. Sorry about the sounds. I'm checking something real quick on my live stream.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Alright. So before I start checklist, flight deck door is closed, passenger signs
AGN 382.
set.
Contact Van Nuys Tower 118.
MCP, we got 200 V2.
Over to Tower 118.625.
Takeoff speeds have been set. CDU pre-flight trim set to 0. Taxiing, I don't have a Betsy here, doesn't talk to me. Beacon light. Everything looks fine. They're raising the nose. All right, let's face south. She said southwest.
Release parking brakes, please.
Brakes are released by pressing the toe brakes. And we got to clear the equipment and the chocks. Should be done by, so remove the chocks.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Start number 1. Set to auto. Awesome sound. Start number 2. Normal checklist complete.
All aircraft be advised, information channel now current. QN 81017.
8 is your confirmation for a good engine start.
Will do. Alrighty. Why can't I get... Did it clear the clearance? I don't have an option here. Things aren't going fine. Let's call in GSX and tell them that we got a good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Scandinavian 4638 requests IFR clearance to Gardermoen Airport.
Scandinavian 4638, denies those delivery. Expect runway 02 right, Ropas 1 Echo depart.
There we go.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Request taxi to the active.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Runway 03 right taxi via Echo. Delta 4 Delta. Delta 3 Delta 1.
Runway 03 right taxi via Echo. Delta 4 Delta. Delta 3 Delta 1 Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Scandinavian 4638. Bravo 71 request pushback. Scandinavian.
So we're going forward, then we'll turn left and right all the way to the runway start.
Scandinavian 4638.
So our initial will be flight level 170 if I'm not mistaken. This is something we can change, of course. There's our bypass pin, thank you. I'm gonna start our taxi. Here we go. Set our ET clock. That Emirates style is a little too close for comfort, but pretty sure we'll be alright. Yeah, I'll be alright. Let's just, yeah, that tail is a bit too close, so we'll turn right here. No one will blame us for being too overzealous. There's no such thing as being too overzealous. Let's hold here for that agent to pass.
my discretion, Olympic 279.
Well, let's carry on. Oh,
Qatar 22 Alpha, Quebec Heavy. Hold position for traffic. I'll call you back.
Hold position, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec.
holding
Heavy.
position.
Alpine 46 Quebec Lima, Gate Alpha 49 request pushback.
Alpine 46 Quebec Lima. Venice ground. Pushback approved. Face southeast.
Pushback approved. Face southeast. Alpine 46
That's
Quebec Lima.
beyond ATC not doing its job for you. Always an unknown.
Request taxi. Scandinavian 4638. Runway 03 right taxi via Charlie. Echo. Delta 6 Charlie.
We'll just keep taxing. Sorry about that.
Runway 03 right taxi via Charlie. Echo. Delta 6 Charlie 2 Delta 4 Delta. Delta 3 Delta 1 Scandinavian 4638.
Apparently there's a door open. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Affirmative, taxi at my discretion, Olympic 155.
Yeah, that was a door open. Let's go back to the taxiway here. So that's runway 03 right, our destination for this taxi run. We need to go all the way to the bottom of this taxiway and turn left. Well, not all the way. It's going to be the second turn to the right, to the left.
Alpine 46 Quebec Lima, ready to taxi to the active.
Alpine 46 Quebec Lima. Runway
Flight
03 right
directors
taxi via
now. I
Golf.
can arm I'll have an VNAV.
Runway 03 right taxi via Golf. Delta 2 Delta. Delta 1 Alpine 46 Quebec Lima.
Scandinavian 4638. Hold position for traffic.
Hold position for traffic. Scandinavian 4638.
Come on.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Contact Venice Tower 118.625.
Contact Tower 118.625 Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Have a good evening.
Alright, let's run our final checklist for departure. Let's hit our holding point.
Continue taxi.
Continue taxi, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
That's our Cat 1 holding point. Alright, let's hold here. We've already done this, so let's go for the taxi checklists. Flaps 5. Park auto brake and RTO. Boeing does not arm the speed brakes for departure, only for the arrival. Before takeoff checklist complete. We'll just set this one as completed. Let's not waste any more time. We'll go for the after takeoff checklist in a moment after takeoff. So we are fully ready. Let's call in the tower.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, holding short, runway 03 right.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy Van Islos Tower, wind variable, runway 03 right, cleared for takeoff.
Let me sit correctly.
3 right, cleared for takeoff. Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Alright, here we go. Calm down. There you go. I'm pressing the brakes but wasn't unlocking the parking brake. Runway entry procedures. Strobes. For those wondering, yeah, PMDG is still the thing. It's still a wonderful plane to fly. Here we go.
Alpine 46 Quebec Lima, hold short of 03 right.
Roger, hold short of 03 right for
Toga.
Alpine 46
Thrust reference. Toga. LNAV, VNAV armed. 100.
Line up and wait. Runway 03 right. Alpine 46 Quebec Lima.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Auto brake disarm. Speed check, flaps 1. Speed check, flaps up.
Alpine 46 Quebec Lima, Van Islos Tower, wind variable, runway 03 right, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 03 right. Cleared for takeoff. Alpine 46 Quebec Lima.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, reception spot to Squawk 0450.
Squawk 0450, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
He's right, he's right.
Scandinavian 4638, ready to go. Runway 03 right.
Scandinavian 4638, runway 03 right, line up and wait.
Line up and wait. Runway 03 right. Scandinavian 4638.
Zero 450.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, contact Athens departure 128.95.
Contact Athens departure 128.95, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Athens departure, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, 6,600 feet.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, Athens departure, identified. Climb to flight level 110.
Climb to flight level 110, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, contact Athens Control 135.875. Have a good evening.
Center on 135.875, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Oh yeah, 94 now?
Athens Control, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, 38,900 feet for flight level 110, direct have 033.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Athens Control, good evening. Identified. Climb to flight level 230.
Climb to flight level 230, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Volotia 9 Uniform Tango. Contact Santorini approach 118.05.
Contact Santorini approach 118.05.
Passing 10,000 feet, external lights off.
Athens Control, with Malta 355 Victor, flight level 340.
Where's Malta 355 Victor? Athens Control, radar contact.
Yeah, this plane is a rocket. I mean, we climbed so fast to 10,000 feet. It's amazing. Carry on climbing, baby. Come on. the heck is going on? It's unavailable? Why? The heck is going on? Alright, execute. Go, go, go. Let's not spend any more fuel. We're probably flying a constraint here.
Runway 34 ready for descent. AG on 382.
AG on 382, descend to flight level 080.
Descend to flight level 080. AG on 382.
Oh my god, what the heck is going on?
Descend to flight level 090.
Descend to flight level 090, matching
Alright,
1090.
let's do it the hard way.
AG on 382, contact Mykonos approach 118.75.
Contact Mykonos approach 118.7. 5 AG on 382.
So what is wrong with you, buddy? Is this it? No reserves? Missing cost index? Honestly don't know why, because I programmed that before, but cost index for you, buddy, is 156. Pretty sure I set this up earlier. There we go, now he's waking up. Temperamental plane this is. Is it noticeable I'm more comfortable in an Airbus? It's ironic because I flew Boeing all my life. I was a great proponent of the 737. Defended it with tooth and nails. It was my favorite aircraft for a long, long time. But, you know, things change. And as soon as I managed to start flying the Airbus family of planes, I switched sides, so to speak. Is it wrong to do it? Well, let's just say a Boeing is a pilot's plane, but an Airbus has so many automations that it's unavoidable that you fall in love with it, because it saves. I mean, flying as I am flying right now, I mean, here's Betsy, but she's not here. It's just for show. Flying solo in such a complex plane like this one is never easy. And as you saw earlier, I forgot a couple of things, a couple of items, because I was so rushed in. The plane itself had some issues, as you've noticed, because I had to restart the flight. The air nav data wasn't correct. I didn't have the correct runways, so I had to restart the flight. But as I did so, apparently when I'm loading performance, it didn't load the cost index, and that's enough to screw up VNAV. But that's something that the co-pilot could have checked. So if I had someone with me flying, I would probably not have an issue. But since I'm alone, these things will happen, and then it will happen to you guys. So it's good to happening to me, so you guys can at least get to know how to solve the problems and once they come. That at very least is something you can take away from this. This is of course the Qatari 777-200LR. That cockpit is a bit dark. We are currently still in Athens airspace. We are about to leave the SID. There it is. Our little plane is about to leave the SID, or SID. And we'll skip here to the flight information. So let's time accelerate. So we need to climb according to our flight plan. Let's just reset here. According to our flight plan, we need to step climb at Rapos to 410. Where is Rapos? There it is. So let's request new flight plan 410.
Contact Rodos approach 127.25, enter 16 Charlie X-ray.
Turkish 1880. Contact anchor control 119.3.
Let's wait for our turn. Center Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec, request flight level 410. Let's see if it accepts like this, the format.
Athens control Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, unable to change flight level at this time, maintain current altitude.
Ah, too bad. Wilco Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec. Let's just wait a little longer.
593 Romeo, descend to flight level 170.
Descend to flight level 170, Channel 593 Romeo.
Athens control Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, go ahead.
Let's try another approach. Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec, request flight level change.
Athens control, Alpine 46 Quebec Lima, leaving flight level 162 for flight level 190 direct core.
Magic Sun 1095, descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1016.
It's quite busy.
4,000 feet, QNH 1016, Magic Sun 1095.
Alpine 46 Quebec Lima, Athens control. Radar contact, climb to flight level 380.
Climb to flight level 380, Alpine 46 Quebec Lima.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, you broke up, say again, altitude.
Flight level 410, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec. Let's try again.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, confirm new altitude, flight level 410.
Affirm, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, roger, climb to flight level 410.
Now you're
Flight
cooking.
level 410, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Now we're cooking.
Magic Sun 1095, contact Santorini approach 118.05.
Contact Santorini approach 118.05, Magic Sun 1095.
So here's what's happening. Oh yeah, let me see if it, can I reduce the volume on this?
Control identified.
Apparently not.
Scandinavian 4638, good evening.
So here's what's happening on the oh, we need to perform the after takeoff checklist real quick. After takeoff checklist, landing gear flaps up. So what happened before is we were our cruising altitude, according to our flight plan, we had two cruising altitudes. So we were cleared at first at LGAF, so at Athens Airport, we were initially cleared for flight level 230, but after Rapos, we should request a flight level 410. First time I asked, it said it couldn't climb because it was busy. The airspace was busy, but if you try again with Beyond ATC and with other synthetic flight controllers, then you might get to have your climb as requested. Now, rule of thumb is never try to request it on, well, let's say you're flying VATSIM or EVAL, never ask it 2 times consecutively. If asked once, if the controller tells you it's not possible. Hello, Anne-Sophie. Oh, San Francisco too. I don't know the other airport. San Francisco KSFO, flew there many times when I was flying with Air Canada Virtual. You're with United 744. Nice. 747, one of my favorite all-time planes. Here's my top 3. And to be honest, I'm a little sold to the modern aircraft. So number 1 for me, favorite aircraft, number 1, Airbus A350. Can't beat it. Beautiful plane. Number 2, the Queen of the Skies, Boeing 747. More specifically, the 747-400. Still one of my favorites. And the number 3, the Lockheed L1011. TriStar. Beautiful plane. Oh, Minneapolis. To be honest, I never flew to Minneapolis, virtually or in real life. So you're making me company during my flight. That's nice. Thank you very much for flying together with me, Anne-Sophie. It's a beautiful name you got. Anne-Sophie Deborah Gabrielle Sarah de la Tour. You got quite a long name there. My name is simple. It's João Pinto. So like João is John, Pinto. That's it. Yeah, I assume it's a virtual flight. I assumed as much. Can you imagine someone flying in a real-life cabin and watching a live stream of another guy flying? That would be nuts. Enjoy your flight. Don't watch another guy flying, right? When I was working in civilian aviation training, I had to make a flight to London once. And during the flight, I needed to test my flight simulator. I had a gaming laptop, and I started flying flight simulator in the plane. But because I needed to test something, a procedure on arrival, and since I had some time to kill, about 2 hours of time to kill, so I opened my laptop, fired it up, started flying my flight simulator with my little joystick. And there was a guy sitting next to me. Believe it or not, he asked, "Are you controlling this plane?" And I was like, "No." This is a flight simulator. This is a video game. So I'm just flying. Oh, that explains a lot, Anne-Sophie. So Anne-Sophie de la Tour, that's very French. Gabrielle as well. I mean, your whole name, only Deborah, sounds like American. But Deborah in American usually adds an H on the end, right? So Deborah is a biblical name. I know that much. So like I was saying, I was in this flight and this guy next to me asked me if I was controlling the plane. Of course not. He didn't understand the concept of a guy flying a plane and having all the flight controls. But then he asked me, "But is that our flight? Like you're, somehow monitoring our flight?" No, man, this is just a game. I'm flying on a completely different approach. This is a test, this software, this is just a game. And yeah, that did happen to me once, a long time ago. I forgot about that. So we're reaching our top of climb, and I'll time accelerate once we get to that TC.
Athens Control, AVR 995. Good evening. Flight level 340.
So for those that are used to the Airbus PFD and ND, it's not that far, is it? I mean, everything is in the same place, so altitude on the right, airspeed on the left. We also got our max speed underneath, our QNH right here, our compass, our artificial horizon, and our autopilot modes. The only difference is that we don't get like throttle to climb or anything like that. We got a throttle, LNAV and VNAV. These are just lateral navigation and vertical navigation. On the Airbus, you would just get like speed or alt. That's it, but that's about it. As the DND can be quite different though. Although the informations are set up pretty much the same way, the aspect and colors can be a little different. Magenta line is universally the active flight plan, but we don't really get any other colors as the same. Our little plane, instead of having a yellow little plane, we got a triangle. We'll go to the cabin in a moment once we get to our cruising altitude. Again, this is the Qatari flight out of Athens to Doha, Qatar. This is a Boeing 777-200LR from PMDG. Masters at this craft. I said craft, not crap. Shame that we cannot reduce the volume here. These knobs, they just don't move. See, they're not moving, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to reduce the volume on this. There's actually nothing done here, by the way. This audio panel is clearly not interacting with Beyond ATC, which is a bummer. So 1000 to go, and here we are, flight level 410. VNAV overshot a little bit. And you can see at this altitude, there's no room for error, so we are right inside the overspeed buffet. So the plane's now decelerating enough to remain within the normal speeds, and as you can see at this altitude, 41,000 feet, there's no margin of error. No acceleration or deceleration. If we decelerate, we'll enter a high-speed stall. If we accelerate beyond the buffet, we'll be on the overspeed. So, yeah. Especially since we got some tailwind, it's never easy. Yeah, I know about that, Deborah. Anne-Sophie. So guys, this is the Boeing 777, quite a different aircraft, but if you want to fly in style, I have a key for the FS Labs A321Neo, both for Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024, your choice. One key unlocks both versions. Amazing plane. You've seen me flying here multiple times. I'm taking a little break from it, but I'll get back to it pretty soon. If you want to win it, just help me reach 100 subscribers. There's not that many left. I believe we are 5 or 6 left, so not that far. And then just come here to this chat right here and tell me why it should be you winning it. Why it should be you winning the FS Labs A321Neo, and I'll pick a winner. And let me tell you, you don't want to miss that plane. It's really cool. So let's time accelerate now to 4 times time acceleration. We're right now flying over, let me zoom in. We're flying over the Greek islands, so we're still in Greece airspace. And I honestly wished that PMDG would make this a little different, because I wanted to see the map in better detail. This is good enough, but it's kind of a boring. So this is, I believe, Malta right here. Probably not Malta. This is probably still some Greek island here. Malta should be a little lower than. Alright, we are no longer. We'll go back to here in a moment. So let's go here to our arrival data. So weather in Doha is as expected, quite warm, 32 degrees, QNH 1004, probably absolutely no rain for months. Ah, there we go. This is more like it. But still, I want to see the routing here. Alright, here's the routing. So we're expecting runway 33 via Haya 1 Victor. Let's input that. This might be subject to a change, of course. So runway ILS 33 via Haya 1 Victor. So Halka 1 Victor, Haya 1 Victor right there. Execute. So we're now flying. When we are in time acceleration, our little LEDs on the clock will change to red. Longest flight was Aham RJTT. I know Aham, it's Amsterdam, right, Schiphol? I don't know RJTT, where is that? 12 hours. I used to do about 10 when I flew Air Canada. I used to fly over the Atlantic. Tokyo. Oh, that's a long flight. That's a very long flight. Yeah, 12 hours. That figures Tokyo. So QR KEWR, I believe it's Newark. No, sorry, it's not Newark. I know that sign. I flew there recently. Yeah, it's Newark, yeah. I knew it was Newark. Newark is great because it gets you out of JFK traffic. But it's such a bad such a bad airport. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Nuuk and Sophie. I love Nuuk. Have you seen my flight in and out of Nuuk? I had an issue going out of Nuuk with the 350, but the arrival was beautiful. I love that airport. It's probably one flight I'll do one day. Newark to Nuuk, or Nuuk to Newark and then back, something like that. I try to avoid the transatlantic flights because, you know, for a live stream it's unbearable. It's just too long for a live stream. But I get it. It's those are beautiful destinations. And it pains me when I got the airport that I can't fly there regularly, right? Nuuk is one of them. It's just too far from everything. You need to really plan to go to Nuuk. My flight there was out of Reykjavik, so Keflavik Airport with Iceland Air, A321Neo. And it was a very pleasant flight, but the first time I flew to Nuuk, I flew out of Lisbon direct to Nuuk. That's way too long. I couldn't broadcast it. It was just too far, too long, but it was such a great flight. And Nuuk has that charm. It's a small airfield with that 2,200 meter runway. It's a beautiful landscape, and aside the winds, there's always fine weather. It's not great. Sometimes I get low visibility in Nuuk, but most of the times it's a pleasant flight to make, and I really enjoy it. So let's go outside a little bit to check our beautiful 777. Today is a moonless night, so we might not be able to see much. Yeah, there's our Qatari silhouette against the Milky Way. Can barely see anything. So there it is. This is Malta. I'm sorry about that. My geography sucks, but this is Malta right here with the capital Nicosia. We will of course be flying over Israel, and this is a particularly sensitive area. If we were to fly the A350, let's go to Nicosia.
Mixia radar, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Good evening, flight level 410.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, Nicosia radar, identified.
So like I was saying, if we were flying the A350 over this area, it has simulated GPS spoofing. So if we were to fly over here, most likely we would get GPS interference. So it's a good thing we picked the PMDG 777, not because it flies better than an Airbus, but PMDG just didn't model GPS spoofing.
Channel 5 Papa Victor, contact anchor control 127.85.
Centron 127.85, Channel 5.
So what is GPS spoofing or jamming? So spoofing and jamming are two different things. When we're flying over conflict areas, such as Israel for obvious reasons, Ukraine for obvious reasons, and many other locations, there are two types of interference. Let me just try to reduce the sound. Whoops, what just happened? What just happened? I didn't touch anything. What happened? That was weird. That was clearly an alert. Let me press a button here. Let's see if this was the case. No. That was very odd. So, like I was trying to explain, I'm going to reduce beyond ATC volume here.
Nicosia radar, expect to go to 2, runway 12.
I'll increase the volume later again. So, hello AMC Richard, welcome. Nice to see you. So, the difference between spoofing and jamming, there are two different types of interference a GPS can get, and these can be both happening at the same location. Let's say above Israel, as we're going to fly in a moment, real life planes may get either jamming or spoofing. Jamming is the denial of GPS, so there will be units on the ground creating like a radome around a certain area, and let me read this from Ansufi. Nuuk to Keflavik, Keflavik to London Heathrow is Serbia. All right, nice flight plan. I might take that. I might take a flight plan like that once. If I go back to Nuuk, maybe I'll come back through Keflavik and London. That's a good one. Don't know about Serbia because I don't have that scenery for Flight Simulator, but I get. If I ever fly to Heathrow, probably not Gatwick. It's my favorite choice. Heathrow is too complex. I do have both, but I prefer Gatwick, to be honest. So I might go Nuuk, Keflavik, Heathrow. Yeah, or Gatwick in my case, and then go back to Europe. That's a good hop. So again, jamming, GPS jamming, that can happen over territories like Israel or Ukraine. So jamming is basically a unit on the ground with a powerful antenna that just denies GPS service. So the airplane enters that bubble of protection and just is denied GPS. Now, these are military jammers, but they jam everything GPS. So they jam every satellite signal possible because they're protecting their territories. And as you know, some global positioning systems do feed data to, for example, drones. So that's GPS jamming. The other type of interference is called GPS spoofing. Now, spoofing is a bit different. Spoofing does not deny aircraft GPS, but it fools them to think they're picking a satellite. So spoofing operates like GPS telling you that you're in a certain position, in a certain altitude, at a certain speed, but you're not. Both things, jamming and spoofing, will create massive problems to the aircraft's own navigation. And there are things you need to do. First of all, you cannot rely on GPS. So you rely on aircraft's own INS system, inertial system, to keep on navigating. But there could be some major issues still. One of those is a GPWS being deactivated, so it stops working. So GPWS is your ground warning proximity system. It will simply stop working or give you false altitudes. So an airplane's flying, let's say, at 4,000 feet, 40,000 feet, 40,000 feet, it suddenly starts getting terrain pull up warnings because GPWS is fooled to think that you're flying closer to the ground. That's one of the tricks spoofing does. Another thing that jamming does is just denial. You'll suddenly have no satellites to serve you, so the plane will get kind of confused. When that happens, the plane does have a failsafe, a backup failsafe system that is the internal inertial system, but INS or inertial system is prone to precess, so it will start losing accuracy over time. So yeah, it's never easy to fly over a conflict area that you know they're going to get some GPS spoofing and or jamming, and unfortunately either can happen above the conflict airfield. So for example, up ahead is Israel. It can happen right here as we are. You don't need to even fly over Israel because the Israeli Defense Force will start broadcasting their GPS spoofing quite far away. So this is Israel. No problem, Richard. We are 4 times time acceleration, so we're Mach 4 right now. LAX, London. Yeah, Los Angeles, London. That's a long flight. LA to London. My longest flight was Madrid. Yes, Madrid to Cancun in Mexico. That was my longest flight. 8 to 9 hours. So this is Israel right here. That's well, there's one airfield right there. Not sure which one there is. Probably Ben Gurion Airport. We can take a look inside our cockpit. That will tell us what airport that is. That's Tel Aviv. Yeah, that's Tel Aviv Airport. So we're now in Israeli control. We'll go to Jordan airspace in a moment. Singapore to LAX. Whew. I don't know which one's farther. But I envy you. You flew on the A380. I never flew on the A380. Biggest plane I flew was a 747-300. I also flew on the 777-300, but I think the 47 is bigger. So we're already in Amman airspace. So from now on, even in Jordan, from now on is mostly desert. So we're still flying over the populated areas of Jordan, but then pitch black. That's desert with a few oases and settlements. But you see these 100 miles extension, that's full all desert. Lufthansa A380 and 744. Well, 744, and I missed it. I flew the 743, but not the 744. But I did fly it a lot in Microsoft Flight Simulator. FS9, FSX, P3D. I flew many flights, transatlantic flights on the 747 for Air Canada Virtual. I was one of the early co-founders of Air Canada Virtual. And then after a while I quit because the flights were just too long. And I started flying in Europe for DHL Virtual, so flying cargo. Still have a thing for cargo flights, to be honest, because things are a little easier with cargo. And we mostly flew at night, so as you can see, I can only fly at this time. So most of the times I fly at night. So when I was in the airlines, I flew a couple of virtual airlines for passengers. I only had timetables for day flights, during daylight, and I couldn't fly them regularly. It was hard for me, and so I started flying DHL Virtual, which allowed me to fly at night. And I flew some very cool planes, including the 757 that my dear friend Andrew loved so much back in the day. And I continued to fly the 747, believe it or not. They were a little flexible with airplanes I could fly in that virtual airline, so I asked if I could fly the 747 cargo. And they said, yeah, why not? Just fly as you see fit, and that's what I did. I then came back to Portugal to fly TAP Portugal Virtual Airbuses. This is where I started to learn flying Airbuses, and the rest is history. I still enjoy Boeing, like you're seeing here. It's just a different kind of beast, and I'm afraid that you lose hand. You do lose your habit. You love the 57. It's such an elegant plane, isn't it, Richard? So we're in Jeddah airspace now, so Saudi Arabia. Not long now, actually. We should be maybe in real life this would be more or less 2 hours of flight, but since we got time acceleration, probably in half an hour, maybe less. So what plane are you flying? So you're flying the Boeing 747, and Sophie. Is it PMDG? Probably not in Flight Simulator, of course. PMDG only created the 47 so far for the P3D, FSX. So they started with FSX, then P3D, then only P3D, so all the versions 3, 4, and 5. But now they're aiming to bring the 747-400 to Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. 757 is a unicorn in the world of aviation, because it had beautiful looks, excellent performance, and it was so reliable. It was the last reliable plane created by Boeing. Even the 777 had its issues. It still does this to this day. But both the 67 and the 57 was so reliable. And it's very sad to see them being taken away from active duty, because they were such a great plane to fly, even in the virtual world. So guys, again, remember, if you guys want to fly in style, I got a FS Labs A321Neo to give away. All I need you guys to help me to reach 100 subs, not far now, and come here to the to this chat and tell me why it should be you winning that particular airplane. Also, if you guys like what you see, if you would like to help, there is a Buy Me a Coffee link on the chat. There's also a QR code on the main screen, and there's a link in the description below if you guys are feeling generous. All donations will be used to reacquire more airfields and more planes. I'm already in talks for 2 more planes to come to my fleet. One is a little far. It's not ready. The other one is quite near, but they're both under production, so I can't really talk much about them right now. I'm sorry about that. I can only tell you that one is a classic. So it's not really an oldie in a plane term, but it is really a venerable plane from the past. And the other one is a more modern plane, but there's some I can't say much because people will know exactly what it is, but let's just say it's a plane that's struggling for attention right now. So 2 different planes coming, and there's a third option. I'm still negotiating to see if I can get early access of yet another type of airplane that's been beating the regional lines, the regional routes recently. So 3 planes, 2 are more or less certain, 1 is a little less certain, so that's the reason I'm not talking much about them. But the next flight, so after I land in Doha, this 777 will remain there, whatever plane I bring it out. So I will come out of Doha to somewhere else, but before that there's a new adventure. So I don't usually go offshoot. I usually do my routes, my legs continuously. So for example, the last few legs were Lisbon to Faro to Zurich, Zurich to Athens, and now Athens to Doha. And I'll keep on doing that. I'll fly out of Doha in the future, but I am going to make a detour. So it's not going to be a flight out of Doha, the next flight, but it will take us to 2 very special places. One is a normal airport where we'll depart. We always need to depart out of an airport, but this one is pretty regular, not very common. It will be my first time out of there, but the destination, oh my god, you guys, if you guys like adventure, I can't imagine another destination that will be as adventurous as this one. First time I saw a plane land there, I thought this is impossible in real life. So oh, thank you, Richard. Thank you for the Buy Me a Coffee, Richard. Always so generous. There's really nothing to say more than thank you. Thank you so much. You've been quite generous these last few weeks. Quite supportive of my channel. Thank you so much, Richard. Unfortunately, I can't go in front of the camera like Jose does, but I can show you Betsy here. Betsy, please say thank you to Richard. Betsy. Hello? Yeah, she's still not talking to me. I'm sorry, Richard. I thought she would say something. But anyway, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Richard. So we are coming up on our top of descent, not yet visible here. Should be somewhere right up. Let's zoom out a little bit more to see if we can see our top of descent. There it is, top of descent right there, that TD. That's too many info right now. Still too much info. Anyway, that's our TD right there. That's our top of it. No, it's, I mean, Richard, it's always great to be supported, and people when people donate, it makes me feel that this can go on. You know, I'm a very small channel. I can't afford every single add-on out there, so anything will help me, and I thank you so much for your support, Richard. Again, one of the ways, by the way, that we can see if our GPS information is failing is using this little position data here. So this is that little symbol over there. It's like two brackets in a circle. That's our airplane's actual position, and then you'll have like these asterisks, these stars. These are the general relative position of our GPS. So all the three INSs, when there's three INSs, would show up here. So there will be one here, one here, one here. This is our margin of error. The star is giving us a little error of our current position, and this is the calculated position. So one of these is fed by the GPS and the other is fed by the INS system of the aircraft. So I would say this is GPS, this is INS. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just explaining to you that this is one way to see if there's a huge discrepancy between what the GPS is telling you and what the INS system is telling you. So if these are too far apart with a huge margin, like say 20 miles or more, then there's a problem with your GPS data for sure. So yeah, there's another way to figure out if there's something wrong. Oh, off. Yeah, this is the... Yeah, future flight. Well, the next flight will be to that unknown secret destination. That's not really a secret if you pay attention to my blogging in YouTube, on YouTube. This is not really a secret, but yeah, I wanted to keep the suspense up. As for other future flights, well, it all depends on whether or not these future partnerships produce their planes. They're still under development, so we'll see. Like I said, there's a classic plane coming. There is the other one is also more or less a classic, but it's not really a recent plane, but it's one that I wanted to fly for a long time as well. And there's a third one which I can't really say much, because if I try to explain it too much, people will immediately know what it is. But two are almost guaranteed, and one is 50-50. It's not yet guaranteed or anything of the sort. So as you can see, we got some pretty cool tailwind. Yeah, the area over Dubai is quite serious, because surrounding Dubai, or the Emirates, the United Arab Emirates, on the north you got Iran, on the left side you got the disputed lands. Well, not as disputed these days, but they're still a bit dangerous, of Iraq. And then you have all these oil-producing countries like the one we're going right now, Qatar. You got Oman. You got, all these oil-producing countries, and they're so keen on safety, especially with the neighboring Iran. That's a very dangerous place to fly, and there's a GPS spoofing there as well. GPS spoofing and jamming. Oh yeah, AMC. I wish that the 707. There's a company developing the 707, but it's so different. It's a very different plane to fly, and it requires a crew of 3. If having a crew of 2 already brings me so much trouble when I forget stuff, now imagine if I needed a flight engineer as well. There's a 707 being developed. There's also a 727 out there. I honestly didn't make any requests to have access to those because I fear that I may not be able to fly them correctly solo. So yeah, I'm not sure I can make it there, Richard, but I will try. I will take a look at the current state of the 727 and the 787. If they add a virtual engineer, like an automated engineer, AI engineer, I may try it for sure. Back in the day, I had a 707 from Captain Sim, back when Captain Sim did cool add-ons, not anymore. And they had a virtual engineer. It worked really well, but it was still a difficult plane to fly solo, to be sure. All airplanes from that era were difficult to fly because it required 3-man crew. So we are seeing right now the area where we'll start to descend. You can see up north from us is Iraq, then right next to it is Kuwait. We're currently flying over Saudi Arabia. Yeah, Betsy and her sister, right? 2 blondes in my cockpit, that will be something. Pretty girls. No, she doesn't talk to me for some reason. She doesn't like me, Richard. I mean, you can ask her. Can you tell Richard why you don't talk to me? Yeah, see? No response. She just hates me. There will be a time when we'll have a flight crew member that replies to you. There will be a time. It has been farther than what you think. Currently, the only thing separating us from that reality is just making sense of it. Like, let's go to Saudi Center, Jeddah Center. Oh, we're already on Doha Center? It's weird. So Qatar operates in this area as well? I thought we should be in Saudi Arabia airspace yet. That's odd. Oh, alright. So the only thing separating us from having an actual virtual assistant in the cockpit is 3D modeling, because AI is already capable for to answer me. I'll give you an example. So let's bring our auto cruise back to 1. So you're used to seeing ATC being scripted, right? So it's scripted. So let's say ready for descent, request approach. This is all scripted right here that you're seeing. But what if I tell you that this AI will respond accordingly and dynamically to my requests. So if I was going to ask them for an altitude change, instead of going through the script, I can go voice and tell them Doha Center, Qatar 822 Alpha Quebec requests flight level 200 or whatever flight plan flight altitude I would like. It will respond. It sounds scripted, like, watch this. Stand by. Watch nothing, because alright, let me increase the volume. Alright, watch this. Doha Center, Qatar 822 Alpha Quebec. How are you today?
Qatar 822 Alpha Quebec Heavy, just fine, thanks.
See? It responded to a non-scripted request. And you can do this. I mean, there's some margins of where you can go, but this is literally an AI. It's not scripted. So you can go off script. Of course, it will respond accordingly. And well, for example, hey Doha Center, tell me a joke. It might respond with a joke or not. Doha Center, tell me a joke. Let's see. Nah, see, it's not answering. Disregard for Qatar 822 Alpha Quebec. But back in the day when this was still being developed, you could ask it to tell a joke, and it would tell you a joke. Oh, let's try again. Maybe my speech wasn't correct. Doha Center, tell me a joke. No, it's unfortunate. It used to tell jokes or whatever. Doha Center, how's the weather in Doha, Qatar? Let's see if it tells me the weather in Qatar. See? Now let's let's try to flirt with it. Doha Center, Qatar 822 Alpha Quebec, you have a very nice voice. Nah, when you go too far, it just pretends it didn't understand what you said. But you've seen how far you can go. You can easily go to beyond script in several different ways. It will also respond to non-normal stuff, but not emergencies, not yet. Beyond ATC is not scripted out yet. It will also not respond to transponder codes like 7700. In fact, they advise you not to do it, because that not only will that mess with everything else, it might generate a false flag, and they have threatened people they would remove them from the servers if that would have happened. So let's go flaps 25 for the approach. VAP is 138. Let's see if we got winds. Oh, we didn't go to the cabin yet. Let's go to the cabin. If you don't know, the 777 has a very unique cabin layout. I'll show you. Where's the dome stormlight? There it is. So as you can see, there are two jump seats, very, very classy. There's a third one, I believe, right here. And then there's this door that's set to the side. Usually the door is set in the middle of most of the airliners, but not on a 777. And Yeah, it's not a jump seat. It's what is that? It looks like a life raft. Let's go back to the cabin here. So this is the crew rest. Let's see if it's modeled. It's not modeled, unfortunately. But it is modeled on the A350. There's some lockers here. There's the front galley for first class. Another locker. I believe this is a bathroom for the crew. It's not opening. There's a flight crew jump seat. This is not interactive. This is the first class on the 777. Qatari 777. The Qatari symbol's missing, but you can clearly see it's Qatari. Not the seats, but the screens are. The missing passengers. I don't know what's going on. I don't think that GSX is working properly these days. I may need to reach them because I don't see passengers in any of my planes. So first class is pretty cool. Almost half the plane is first class. Then comes the business class with this beautiful twin seats, 4-4 configuration. Then comes the the economy class with a 3-4-3 configuration. You can see the very spacious plane. Also very luxurious in a way. I mean, first class and economy are luxurious by design, but I would definitely fly on these seats, especially this seat. Although I only have one screen for the three of us. Yeah. It's actually better when you have an individual screen. It's actually better to fly on these seats. But if you fly on this seat, look at this. Nothing. Just a blank wall throughout the flight. What you gain on leg room, you miss on entertainment. Yeah, they were, I mean, you kind of have to, Richard, because, you know, Flight Simulator on its own is like very heavy on looks, so they kind of had to, otherwise their product would be subpar to the other offers out there. It's not like they wanted it on their own. They probably had to, otherwise their product would be subpar, you know. But unfortunately we don't have any passengers. I'm not sure why. I believe there's an issue with GSX. I may have to talk with them, but currently this is the state of things. Let's just, oops, sorry, not this. Let's just reset the camera. Here we go. Of course, never forget to close the door. You don't want to hear the passengers cursing when you do some mistake. Top of descent right there. We'll start descending in a moment. Let's time accelerate a bit more. We are still over land, over Saudi Arabia.
Heading 551, Bear Center, expect us in 1 Foxtrot, runway 33 left. Expect us in 1 Foxtrot, runway 33 left, heading at
Etihad was an alternative to Qatar. I was going to fly Etihad, but I've noticed that Etihad does not fly out of Athens to Doha. So I had to go with the direct flight with Qatari. And Qatar often uses the Dreamliner for this route, but today we're taking the 777. There's no decent Dreamliner right now for Flight Simulator, so that's why I'm not taking the Dreamliner that often. I did make a flight analysis on the Indian crash flight, and I used the headwind, not the headwind, what's it called? It's like an add-on for the default 787. It worked alright-ish, but it's not fully modeled, so something's missing. So I don't like to fly those types of planes. I'm sorry, Richard. What's no problem? There's another destination I'd like to fly. It's Egypt. It's going to be one of my next flights as well. I'm just a sucker for those pyramids. I need to fly over those pyramids one more time. Yeah, quality wings, flight factor. Tolis is about to come out of X-Plane to Flight Simulator with Aerosoft A330Neo. It will be designed by Tolis in cooperation with Aerosoft. I'm really curious about that plane. Equipment substitution to 777. Yeah, it's no big deal. The Dreamliner has better performance overall, but 777 is a beast. So, quality wings, flight factor, they're great Airbus developers for X-Plane. Flight factor doesn't want to do anything with Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is unfortunate because they do have the 757 on X-Plane that I used to fly quite a lot and I loved it. As for the Tolis Aerosoft Airbus A330, it's under development right now. I don't really know the state of it. I saw a recent review of it. It wasn't good, but that doesn't mean anything. The plane's still under development, so it might take some time to get better. Who knows? So our top of descent is about to come. It's right there. So we're at 40 miles out of it. Let's reduce our time acceleration. Let's zoom in our map here. And I hope to get my clearance in a moment so that I can start preparing the descent. So we are expecting, according to our flight... Oh, there you go. That's exactly what we briefed on. Expect Haya 1 Victor runway 33 Q Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Alright, so it's exactly as we briefed. So there it is, Haya. So our arrival ILS 33 via Haya 1 Victor. Perfect. We just need to understand the transition, but that's perfectly alright. We'll wait a little longer. We'll need to start our descent, so we are expecting... Oh, let's turn off the dome light. So we are expecting flight level 210 initially. So that's what we are going to input here. And And let's... Oh, I didn't turn off the seatbelt signs. Poor guys. So they're calling them back.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Higher 1 Victor, runway 33 report ready for descent.
Yeah, we'll call...
1 Victor, runway 33 call when ready. Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Let's just pass this VOR here. And we'll start our descent then. Let's go for our descent checklist. So recall checked, notes checked, auto brake. Let's set to landing data. We got a reference here. So we got flaps to 5138 knots. We're going to set a minimum of... Where's my minimums?
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, descend to flight level 300.
Descend to flight level 300. Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
You just can't wait, can you? Here we go. Starting our descent. And our approach briefing completed. I need to check where my... Oh, it's right here, of course. Once more, I'm thinking like an Airbus pilot. So let's check on runway 33 approach. Right here. Hello. What happened here? So decision height should be not 200. So decision, the DA, it's 227. So yeah, 200 radio altimeter. It's fine. Let's flag that. It's flagged. That one's flagged. Where is my approach plate? It's 1 Victor. Where is 1 Victor? There it is. Spin it. So where is our... Whoa, it's a bit hard to read. So we need to look for higher 1 Victor. So that's not higher. Probably this one. Yeah, there's this higher 1 Victor. So we'll need to reach at flight level 210, then descend to 190 and reduce speed to 250 knots, then turn right again, and then right again. So there's our airfield. We're probably going to set on a holding pattern here and then turn right and right to the runway itself. Yep, there it is. So we're going to turn right and then final heading 336, and we should be able to intercept at 4,500 radar. Nice. So what's the point of pinning it if you don't... Oh, there it is. Pin. So star, spin. Alrighty, so we're starting our descent. We're gonna appear over here where my little finger is at. Weather looks okay-ish. It's a beautiful destination during the daytime. In fact, I can show you briefly how it is. So There's some beautiful beaches. Some of them are artificial, as you know. It's more like that in Dubai, of course, with the palm tree beaches and all that. So over there somewhere is our airfield, Doha. That's Qatar. That's the Qatari coast right there. So let's get back to real time.
To Alpha Quebec Heavy, descend to flight level 230.
Descend to flight level 230, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
That's beautiful voice of our dear Betsy. We can actually start descending our plane further than that because we will be getting our constraints in, so it's not like we're going to overshoot our clearance for now. Let's go back to our legs. So we have here on this particular waypoint here, we need to be below 9,000 and above 8,000. So this is a very tight constraint at Egnug. That is somewhere over here, this point here. And I believe the next waypoints will also be constrained as like that until flight level, out 4,500 feet at Muxed, which is the point of the final turning point to our destination. Over here it says we need vectors, but we can clearly avoid that by just pushing this one up and executing.
Contact Jet of Center 128.1, have a good evening.
Contact Jet of Center 128.1 at Etihad 7 Tango Romeo Heavy.
One great key that we don't have on an Airbus is this one right here, alternate. It's a very handy way to program your alternate destination, especially when you have an issue here. On the Airbus you can create a secondary flight plan, or you can activate the alternate on the main flight plan. Alright, let's keep on descending to 200. We're still above the ideal glide path. Well, not the glide path, but the descent VNAV. So guys, again, sorry for being repetitive. If you want to win a FS Labs A321Neo, all you need to do is help me get to 100 subs and subscribe, of course, to the channel yourself, and come here to the chat and tell me why it should be you winning the plane, and I'll pick one winner for one key for both Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024. FS Labs A321Neo is one of the best add-ons you can currently get for these two simulators.
Descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1003, Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
We cannot descend just yet because there's a constraint, but we'll keep on descending, of course. QNH 1003, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So we can set that up already. It's right there beneath the STD. STD stands for standard, by the way. So 1003. 777-200LR. So some guys ask me what's with the ghosting, like the lines, they appear to be like floaty. This is caused by NVIDIA DLSX, so it's an after effect, it's an artifact from the optimization DLSS does. It's currently the only thing that's not very positive about DLSS, but the fact that I can get some like 100 frames using DLSX or 30 not using it really says a lot of how optimized your game or flight simulator can get. So we are continuously using VNAV. We could recuperate this 1,100 feet of descent rate difference by going VS, vertical speed, and just do it manually, but we're still some ways off. It's no big deal. This is the missed approach procedure right here. So our runway is right here. So the airfield is somewhere over here. So transition altitude 1003 and cross-checked. Cross-checked. Let's perform the approach checklist. Approach altimeter set 1003 and cross-checked. Approach checklist complete. Now there's only the landing checklist. It will be an automated procedure. There's no need to click. So there's our airfield right there, conquered to the sea. We're about to pass 10,000 feet. Let's warn our cabin. We don't have an intercom system, a push button intercom system on Boeings like we have on an Airbus. So right now the plane is decelerating to obey to the 250 knot restriction. This is where the PMDG aircraft beats both the Phoenix and the FS Labs. The VNAV is pretty good. We can of course help it decelerate by extending our speed brakes. When I flew on a 777 to Angola, when we were entering the Bay of Guinea, the plane started descending, immediately deployed the speed brakes. Immediately, and it kept the speed brakes all the way down to final turn for the approach. It was, I don't know why they did it, probably because they wanted some fuel economy, I don't know. It was the worst flight of my life, so sorry if I don't recall the details. So there's Doha Airport, one of the main airports in Qatar. There's another one, I don't remember the name, but there's another one, big airport, but this I think is the biggest one in Qatar. Hello, Christopher. Thank you for coming as well. How are you? We're about to reach Doha, Qatar.
9,700 feet, we have Quebec.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy Doha. Approach. QN H1003. Expect radar vectors for ILS runway 33.
QNH1003, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 33, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Alrighty.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, descend to 8,000 feet.
Descend to 8,000 feet, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
we will in fact descend to the 4,500 of the initial approach, because the plane will keep the constraints, and I'm pretty sure the ATC will allow us to descend. There's a quite strong tailwind, 14 knots. We'll start decelerating the plane. So cabin's ready. Let's decel to 200 knots so we can start inputting some flaps.
Qatar 22 Alpha, Quebec Heavy. Descend to 4,500 feet.
See? Told you.
4,500 feet, Qatar 22
Told you.
Quebec Heavy.
Alright, let's turn on our landing lights, everything lights, even the runway lights. Alright, speed check, flaps 10. Speed brakes are in, yes. Let's put them on armed. Whoops, come on. Oh, I know what's happening. Here we go, speed brakes armed. And speed check, flaps 5. Let's decel to flaps 180. Flap speed. You have to be careful not to make abrupt adjustments on your airspeed, otherwise the plane will not descend in the optimal rate and you might get too high on the approach. So guys, this is the final approach I'm turning into in a moment. If you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, remember, leave a like, subscribe, share. There's also a QR code in your upper right screen for buy me a coffee if you're feeling generous. Speed check, flaps 15. And there's also a link in the description.
Expect radar vectors for ILS runway 33.
Leave Max heading 245, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 33, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Alright, so we need to leave it heading 045.
Quebec Heavy, turn right, heading 240 vectors for the approach.
240.
Right, heading 240, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, descend to 4,000 feet.
Descend to 4,000 feet, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Let's go down speed to reference. Unlike the Airbus family, I cannot descend gear right now. Otherwise, I'll get a flap warning, and the other way around. So it's giving me radar vectors for the approach. There's some slight turbulence right now. Speed check, flaps 25. Flaps 20, and now 25. There it is. Gear down, see? I'm so used to doing this with an Airbus. It's the gear config warning.
Turn right, heading 295 Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, 8 miles from Rampo. Turn right, heading 310, maintain 2,500 feet until established. Cleared ILS runway 33.
Turn right, heading 310, 2,500 feet until established. Cleared ILS runway 33 Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
We're still on heading and VNAV. That's our runway. Don't get fooled with these two. That's the runway right there. We are beneath the localizer, sorry, the glide slope, and we are right of the localizer, so we still have some good distance to get. We'll need to keep on descending. So like I said, I'm so used on the Airbus to get to flaps 3 or flaps full without landing gear, but the Boeing doesn't allow you. When you're in the landing flaps region, you will get a landing gear warning. So that was the warning you were hearing just a moment ago. So here we go, localizer locked, still VNAV path. The glide slope is armed. We'll get a glide slope clearance in a moment. Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it, Richard? Here we go, glide slope blocked.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, established on final approach.
Qatari 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, affirm.
Let's go outside just to appreciate.
Over to Tower 118.9 Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Doha Tower, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, ILS runway 33.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Landing checklist complete.
Runway 33 cleared to land.
Runway 33 cleared to land, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
To think that this is all desert, conquered land.
2500.
It's amazing. 2500 check. $2,500, I believe, is the rejected landing altitude. Yep, 2,500. All right, let's jump on the pedals here and autopilot off. We got some nose wind coming from the right slightly. Gotta be careful not to over control the plane. Flight director is your best friend. Just trust it. Even if you look outside and it looks like you're deviating, don't worry. Trust the procedure. Got a glide slope slipping. There's a huge highway beneath us if we need to land on anything other than the runway. As you can see, Doha airport is huge, so we will be taking a good while taxiing. Glide slope.
1000.
1000 check. Can see
500.
my yoke inputs.
$400. 300. Approaching minimums.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
I know.
Minimums.
Continue.
100.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
You can see the glide slope is slipping.
Glide slope.
20. 10.
Smooth like a baby's butt. Reversers. Auto brake. Auto brake off.
Exit left at Alpha, Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Where the heck is that exit to the left? It's right here? I think it is. There's no taxi lights. Start APU. Flaps up.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Contact ground 121.925.
Ground 121.925 Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy. Request taxi to Company Gate.
Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy, Ram 52 taxi via Alpha.
Ram 52 via Alpha. Qatar 22 Alpha Quebec Heavy.
Alright, I'm gonna need to request GSX for a follow me. So let's go to auto brake disarmed, speed brake back in. Strobe lights off. I'm a bit worried about what I'm seeing here. It looks like the scenery isn't installed for some reason. Flight directors off. I don't see the follow me. 32 seconds, alright. It was a nice landing. Very stable, very smooth. There it is. Alright, follow me. Follow the leader, follow the leader. Sígame. Come on. Move. Whoa. Don't do that. Where are you going, buddy? What? How can I trust this guy? Yeah, I honestly believe the airport is not correctly installed because it's on Red Bull, not coffee. Is this it? Such a remote gate. Well, alright. Whoa! What is this guy doing? What do you think this guy doing, Betsy? No Marshall. I can't see any Marshall here. So we're gonna do a little sheet here. Blam. So alright, very good parking here. Alright, so taxi lights off. Got our APU running, so switch off 1. Shutting down. Request deboarding.
The boarding requested.
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with this scenery. I think I installed it correctly, but now I'm second guessing it. Alright, here come the gate. Let's perform the shutdown. So hydraulic panel set off. Oops, and off. Both primary and demand. Fuel pumps to off. APU will still feed on the first pump. Parking brake is set. Shutdown checklist complete. And secure checklist. We're going to leave backs off, emergency lights to off, and ADIRS to off. And we are shutting down smoking signs. Beacon off, wing light off, and we don't have external power yet, but we will.
Passengers deboarding starting.
Oh, there's probably no. Oh, we need to set the chocks, of course. And now we can request the ground power. And now we have it. And we can shut off our APU. Alright, let's go outside. Alright, welcome to Qatar. In this extremely remote gate. I think that's the main operations over there. For some reason we've been sent to this very remote gate. This has been, let's go over here. This has been the Qatari Boeing 777-200LR from Athens to Qatar. For some reason there aren't any passengers leaving the aircraft, but the bus is there waiting for them. Like I said earlier, there must be something wrong with GSX with certain planes. Can I climb these? I can. So now there's passengers and flight attendants. Why aren't they deboarding? Oh, now they're deboarding. Oh, what's going on here? Bye. Thanks for choosing Qatar Airways, although not affiliated. Why weren't you on board when I was walking around the plane? What? Well, there they go. Everybody to the same bus. Doesn't matter how much you paid for first class. Whoops, sorry. Let me get out of the way. Alright guys, welcome to Qatar. Remember, the next flight will be quite a surprise. It will not be the flight out of Qatar. In the meantime, I'll try to verify what happened with the airport. Something very wrong happened with this installation. In any case, everybody's been delivered safe and sound. Thank you all for coming. Remember, I have a giveaway of an FS Labs A321Neo for those interested. Just read the description. Also, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your like. and of course for your donations. Remember, if you want to help the channel, you can go to Buy Me a Coffee. There's a QR code in the upper right screen. If you wish there's also a link in the description if you're not familiar with the QR code, how it works. Every donation to this channel will be reintroduced with new add-ons and new sceneries, like this one from Doha. Not sure what happened here, but it was purchased a few days ago, and I was looking forward to fly here. I need to check. Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you so much, AMC, Richard. Thank you so much, Christopher, as well. And of course, my dear co-pilot, Anne-Sophie Delatour. Sorry. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for attending. I think you guys appreciate your donations as well. And I'll see you next time. Good night.
I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drums begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soared into the